Thinking is hard, and welcome to ETC. My name is Josh, and I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Bailey.
And today we have a very fun episode for you. Today we'll be talking about the documentary we literally just finished watching, American Meme, on Netflix. Before we get to that, something's a little bit different, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Bailey got her gorgeous braces so that her teethies can get right where they belong. So,
beautiful.
So when she first got them, like a couple days after, you felt like a bracket was loose.
I thought it was my tooth.
Yeah, and then we were poking with it with like one of our special little brushes.
The glue matches the tooth color.
It looked just like her tooth, and if I still have the video, I'll put it in there. It looked just like her tooth was moving whenever she would.
It was
do
scary.
That. It looked like a piece of her tooth had broken off.
He was like, "Oh, Bailey, oh no, your tooth." That's how you react
I was
to
so
stuff.
convinced. I didn't want to like freak out. I didn't want to freak you out.
Your tooth. You're gonna have to get it taken out.
That's
how he reacts to stuff. He's so nice about it, but I was like,
I was trying to calm you down. I was trying not to like
it was a
overdo
back molar,
it because,
but still, I just don't want to be 23 without.
And you were like,
tooth.
I don't want to lose a tooth.
Yeah, no, that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, and that was just the cherry on top because the rest of the week I was struggling with a canker sore that I already previously had, and then just like learning how to floss was also just terrible. I was having panic attacks. Yeah. Terrible.
You were relearning how to floss.
I was relearning how to floss with braces, so it was not fun at all. I really did not like it, but we found these brushes and these platypus flossers, and they work really well, and I'm able to get through the wires.
Yeah, so a platypus flosser is like you take one of those normal little handheld little flosser thingies, except one side is really flat so that it can fit between the metal wire and your teeth.
It's a lifesaver. It really is. But they don't sell them in the stores as far as I know, so you have to get them on Amazon, which is fine. But I will have these for about 18 months.
Yep.
About 18 months. So.
Get some good products so that she doesn't have to suffer. So.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, she'll be having your braces for 18 months. Get those teeth all straightened out, and they're already starting to move pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like
it's only been like
teeth.
a week almost. Yeah. So, my front teeth are starting to move. And I could definitely feel it.
Yep.
So.
You're hurting. We're eating some more softer foods.
Yeah, I can't eat.
Don't hurt as bad.
I can't eat like any meat. It just doesn't feel very good. And chips are out of the question. I can't have gum. So.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, I know. I chew gum like for everything. Like especially after I eat something, I like to chew gum because bad breath, and and I can't. So now I have to still find mints, which I keep forgetting, but it's okay. I've been brushing my teeth a lot more too. Instead of like twice a day, it's still twice a day. Yeah. But sometimes 3 times a day. If I use those little brushes, I kind of count that as brushing them because I just don't want anything in my teeth when I smile. You don't want to see any spinach.
Oh no. Yeah, we scheduled an emergency appointment with the braces doctor or the braces dentist. And we sent them the video, and they told us that like, the doc says it's not your tooth, that it's something else, and we were like, it clearly is her tooth, and then it wasn't her tooth.
It was the glue on the bracket. It was
exactly what the doctor said.
Yeah, and I remember moving what's funny is I remember the first day I got them on, and I was learning how to floss. I was moving the bracket, and I'm like, I don't know if it's supposed to be doing that.
Yep.
Like the bracket was moving, and then I like flossed between my tooth, and my tooth I thought moved, and I was like, it's not the bracket, it's my tooth. And then so they took off the bracket, they polished my tooth again, and they're like, we can tell you for a fact it's not your tooth, it's the bracket was loose. It's just because my tooth is so small back there.
It's hard to get glue.
It's hard to get glue, and so even when I floss back there right now, the you can hear like a because it's going through the glue to get to the back tooth. So but it's not terrible. It's gotten a lot better, and the pain's starting to go away, so I should be able to eat normal-ish foods soon.
Well, should we jump into our topic for today?
Yep.
So the documentary American Meme on Netflix. It honestly was good, and insightful, I suppose, but it felt a little long. We were struggling there at the end.
I almost
the
fell
last
asleep.
30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But we decided to take some notes on it. I see you wrote significantly more than I did. And we can talk about it. You want to start from the very beginning?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I probably should give a
Synopsis.
quick synopsis of the documentary. So I recommend watching it yourself if you have a Netflix. It's not worth getting Netflix to see. Disclaimer. So long story short, it covers, I think, 3 or 4 different social media influencers. Because there's Paris Hilton, Kirill, DJ Khaled for a little bit. He's not much in it. The Fat Jew, Brittany.
Oh, Brittany Furlan.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the primary 5 folks that they follow. And it kind of talks about how they got big, how things started out, talking about how they interact with their fans, how their life has changed since then. And at the end, they start talking about like where they're going to go from here. So I know DJ Khaled is already huge with his music and with, the brands he does. Paris has these huge brands that she does and is trying to find a way to not have to travel the world 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I missing here? Kirill is kind of struggling with his nightlife lifestyle.
He was unfortunately the one that I was hoping would have the best outcome later on, and then it just kind of ended with him like basically living a double life, which is unfortunate. So
there's Brittany, who is, found love and is happy and stuff like that.
She is actually married to Pamela Anderson's ex-husband. They have a whole documentary about Tommy and Pamela. You guys should probably see it because I'm kind of interested in seeing that as well. Because apparently they were like an iconic duo. Oh. So, and I don't know what happened, but yeah.
And then the Fat Jew has gone on to make some of the brands of his own, primarily the most popular rosé in the United States and possibly the world. Mm-hmm. White Girl Rosé, is that what it is? Mm-hmm. I think I've seen that in the stores a number of times. So it's pretty neat. It shows how how these influencers started and the power of social media and the dangers of it. Yep. I think it could have gone a bit more into certain areas, but there's a lot to cover with 5 different people.
Yeah, there's a lot. I guess you don't know like how far is too far. It's like one thing they do wrong and it's all gone downhill so fast. Like they could be loved by billions of people and then you do one small thing, which I think Paris Hilton, I forgot what she did. But I know Brittany did something as well, and then everyone was just hating on her immediately. Like there was just immediate like death threats and things that if you didn't have thick skin, you couldn't get through. So I guess they had to build that thick skin in order to get through. The hardship they were going through. So
I think it was definitely an example of how social media can make you an instant star and then can also bring you down instantly, and I think the Fat Jew was explaining it very well at the end that like, hey, look, I know I'm going to be phasing out here soon. So I got to find my ticket out. And that was the White Girl Rosé is his ticket out. Is an investment that he can live off of practically. Mm-hmm. So,
and also working with Paris Hilton too.
Oh yeah.
On like a fake troll brand, but it was kind of cool to see them collab. I mean, collabs can kind of get you far as well. So
yeah, but he's thinking like a retirement fund sort of situation. So anyway, do you want to get into your notes? You want to go first?
I kind of just wrote like basic stuff.
Okay, but that's all right.
I primarily wrote about like social media being entertainment and entertainment only. So people really just want approval and likes. They don't really care what they post, and they get paid a lot of money for what they post, and I think that's crazy to me, especially with the amount of debt we're in as a country. I was like, wow, these people get paid $150,000 for one post.
Because the companies are paying them.
Yeah. But some of these people are really funny. They're like charismatic. They're just someone that you'd there's someone that you'd watch because they're fun to watch. Or you have the people that are crazy, post the most controversial shit, and also get a lot of views because yourself you'd never post that, but you still watch it because you're like, wow, like it's true, but it's terrible at the same time. So living
vicariously. And I think one thing that, do you have something to say?
No.
Okay.
I'm just reading.
Living vicariously through these social media folks, and I think it was kind of a theme throughout the whole thing that they struggle with separating their social media life from their real life, and how social media is kind of an act in a way, and some of their fans and even themselves struggle with differentiating the two. You know, like Paris Hilton has been, you know, famous for her entire life practically, and she's kind of accepted that, and that is her.
Mm-hmm.
That on her social media it is her, but in a way it's still not, because she feels that she constantly has to be posting.
Yeah, that's very stressful.
For Kirill, who goes by Flut Whisperer, he feels like he's living a double life because he wants to do these creative and inspiring things, but yet he's going to nightclubs every single night, you know, pouring champagne all over girls, ruining his liver. He's drinking way too much.
He's very good at animation. He's good at photography. Like, he's done really good photography for a number of celebrities, but he just...
The money is where is him going to nightclubs
partying,
and stuff.
Yeah, taking those videos at parties.
And he struggles with that.
Crazy pictures, yeah. It's not really normal, and it's not supposed to make sense. It's just really to entertain people. Yep. And that's what they like, you know. Something to look at when you're feeling down about your own life. People will go and watch things that are crazy or funny, you know.
Well, I think because
Vine was so big because it was just funny.
Oh, yeah.
Or it was cute. Anything, like, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really anything controversial. Like, nobody was really just like, it was only 6 seconds, so you can't really talk about anything in 6 seconds, but you had to really think about what you were going to do in those 6 seconds to make people want to watch that. So it was almost like a headline. You look at it, and then you're like, is this going to be good? And then you swipe, or if you didn't like it. You know, it had to catch you within, like, the first half second.
Yeah. I think that's pretty big on, like, social media. I think what a lot of the fans of these individuals believe is that part of this is their true life, and I think that's what keeps them around watching them, is that they'll see the fat Jew doing something absolutely ridiculous and think that that's his life. That's what he wants to do as a human being. But in reality, it's just him doing it for social media, and that's it. I mean, he's a normal guy. He has a nice house and stuff because he's successful. But, you know, he eats the same white bread that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And he does all that crazy stuff so that he can post it and get views and get money from sponsors and stuff like that. And I think fans and a lot of people that view social media want to believe that that is their life.
Mm-hmm.
Like that,
and they want that life.
Yeah, and that Kirill will go to, like, enjoys going to these nightclubs and getting absolutely trashed every single night.
And having sex and all of these things. It's like, and I don't know if he really enjoys that. I think it's just the life he built, and he hates it.
Yeah, he's suffering with it.
I mean, I don't know if he has to do the breathalyzer, but he just does it maybe to check so he knows he's not dying.
I think that was for a video, for, like, fun. Like, we're going to do the breathalyzer, see how drunk we can get before we die. That sort of thing.
Right.
And so
I think for young people, they see all this stuff and they're like, oh, I want that. And then they go and they get that, and then they realize, you know, they have no private life. Yeah. Like, they have no privacy at all anymore. And that's something really hard. Again, you have to build thick skin at such a young age. And that's kind of what Paris Hilton had to do. I think she was 21. I know she started at 14 or 15, but when she really took off, she was 21. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy how that happens. So, and it's actually when people become famous on, like, quick things. So, like, that one guy from Justin Timberlake's Super Bowl performance, it comes and then it goes. Same with, like, Alex from Target, Damn Daniel, like, things like that. They were so funny for, like, a week. I remember them being so funny for a week. We post them, we would make memes out of them, and then they'd be gone, and you don't even know where they are now. Yeah. Or there's things that, you know, come up as time goes along, like what's his name? Fat Jew. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Like, he'll post stupid shit, and you'll be like, okay, that's funny, and he'll just keep getting likes, and you'll remember him, and then you realize that he's posting things that people have already posted. You know?
Oh yeah, that's a whole scandal.
Yeah, and it's just a whole thing of people faking who you are. They're plagiarizing things, stealing content, which still happens now, but it's a lot harder. He was one of the first people to do that. So it, and I call it, I heard them say something, but I call it cut and paste culture. So you basically take someone's piece of content and then you turn it into your own. You just change up a few things.
Yeah.
And people do that with school and stuff, and they can get away with it. But when it comes to social media and something blowing up, I mean, someone's gonna see it and be like, "I've seen this before," and I see it a lot on TikTok, and I'm like, "Come on, you can think of something original. I know you can. There's so many ideas out there. Not everything is made yet. Maybe like 20,000 years from now, it'll be all recycled material, but now, I mean, you can come up with cool products and cool things to post and all that still, because there's so much out there. Be original. Don't take stuff from other people.
Right. So I think one thing I noticed, there was technically 6, because there was that model from the Robin, whatever, that song, or Robin
Emily
Thicke, is that her name?
Ratajkowski or something.
Yeah, she was also included in that. And I guess one of the themes I noticed with the women in the documentary, like Paris and I can't remember her name, and
Brittany.
Partly Brittany, not so much. She was more
approval?
comedy. Was that sex sells? I think that was a big theme for a lot of the women, and how there's such high expectations for women in social media. Brittany did mostly comedy, but there was definitely a level of sex sells to her content, which is, I would say, if you're a consenting adult, go for it. However, I think there's those, particularly men, that will take that as an invitation. And not that it's the women's fault in any way, but that's just one of the dangers of the social media is there are circles where that idea of it being an invitation, they get into a small room, like echo chamber, if you will, and just recirculate that. I think that's one dangerous thing, and social media doesn't exactly, I mean, it's gotten better, but with like body positivity and being like actually who you are and not meeting the expectations of, oh, you have to look exactly like Paris Hilton because everyone likes her.
Yeah. There's definitely an issue with our society with body image, unfortunately, and a lot of women my age, younger, older, they look at their body as, not good enough because they see these models on Instagram who clearly Photoshop or have someone Photoshop
and have professional artists and will have professional editors.
It's fake. And what I love about social media now is there's these people, these women coming out with these accounts that are like, this is my body right before they eat. And then this is also my body, like 20 minutes after they eat a giant meal, and it's the same. They look the same. They do not look the same. Sorry. They show the realities of having a body that's always changing.
Yeah.
You're bloated. Of course you're bloated. You just ate. You're not supposed to look thin after you eat. You're supposed to look like you ate something because you need to eat. It's just, we're just so ingrained in the fact that we want to look good. And, I even struggle with that sometimes. I'm like, wow, like I got a little bit of pudge down below my lower stomach. And I'm like, I literally don't have a flat stomach. Like, I want a flat stomach. I want to look, like I can sit down and nothing will roll. It's like, well, okay, everyone has rolls, you can't just sit down and be flat. What? Right. I don't think anyone's like that unless you're struggling with other things. But yeah,
I think the dangers of that, of the social media influencers setting the bar for what you're supposed to look like, is dangerous. And it happens.
It's fake.
Because, well, it is fake, but it happens because these influencers will go on and post a picture and it will get so much attention that a young girl who is like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to look like. What does society say I'm supposed to look like? Mm-hmm. Oh, that girl has 10 million likes on that one image and she looks like that. Okay, got it. Taking notes, I need to look like that.
Yeah.
Looks at themselves, I look nothing like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I must be unlikable.
I don't think my body image issues really started until after about 7th grade. And that's because after 7th grade, I got my first phone that had access to the internet, meaning like social media stuff, not really an internet. But I had a phone from 9 years old. It was just a flip phone. You could call people and whatnot. And then in middle school, I got a phone that you could just get in touch with people on Facebook. Facebook became kind of big around that time, 2011. And you start to see things and you're like, whoa, what? And you look at it's a terrible, terrible thing, but you just look at everyone else and you're like low key judging them in their head. You're low key judging them in your head, and you're like, what changed? Because like in middle school and in elementary school, you're looking at everyone like, wow, these people are so cool, and now you're looking at their bodies like, are we all supposed to look some sort of way and we're just not accomplishing that at the moment? What's going on? Like, how do we get to that? And it's terrible because you judge yourself, you judge others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you call yourself unhealthy, you call other people unhealthy in your head, of course. You never say it out loud, but it's just a terrible, like, what is it?
Circle.
It's a vicious circle.
Vicious cycle.
Of just terribleness of thinking about yourself. And then there's tons of women out there who just hate themselves. And I won't lie, like, social media does not help when you're trying to think better about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, Brittany, she was talking about that. She hates herself. Like, she does not like herself. I don't know why, but when you see things, and I remember her saying, like, oh, I could never be like that. You know, this person has so many likes over me. I could never get that many likes. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why always doubt yourself? But then I can't say anything because I do the same thing. So. You just learn over time that you just don't like yourself. And I really, truly think it's not you not liking yourself. I think it's what we see that makes us not like ourselves.
Yeah. I think
that's good.
I think the toxicity of that thing that we're talking about, how like a girl will see a girl on Instagram that has 1 million likes. Also, men fall victim to that as well, and not as much in the way of a guy will see another guy on Instagram that has a shit ton of likes and think, oh, I need to get 6-pack abs, and that will happen. But men don't often have the mentality of, if I don't look like that, then I am absolute trash. It becomes more of their expectation of women is that they need to meet that 10 million likes image.
That's also kind of our thing too. Like, we don't think we're trash. We just want to look good.
Right.
So we want to have like big boobs, a big butt, but a flat stomach as well.
Yeah.
No stretch marks, no cellulite, nothing, no scars, nothing. We don't want any of that, right? You guys don't want any of that, right?
Instagram tells me
you guys don't want it.
Yes. Instagram tells me not to like that.
Well, Instagram and social media also tells you that men won't like that.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly,
same with vice versa for you. So, you know, guys look at us as like a pair of boobs and a butt. Okay. Then social media tells you guys, oh, well, we look at you for, you know, your body.
Yeah.
And it's all just body, yaddy, yaddy. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So, it's a terrible vicious cycle. So.
Well, I definitely think if, you know, consenting adults decide to post that sort of content, it's completely on them.
It's fine, but be
it's how our
real.
Society has reacted to it, and what our society has done to say that, oh, look, if you don't meet this expectation of this 10 million like image, then you're worthless.
Yeah.
I think that's the dangers of social media. Now, it's gotten better. There have been some improvements of body image and, you know, loving who you are.
There's people that look normal now.
Yeah.
Like, you see people and you're like, wow, like that is normal to see. It's nice. You know, people are starting to, because even companies back then would only pick skinny white girls.
Yep.
That was all they wanted. They didn't look at anyone else.
They thought that was what was popular, so that's all they chose.
And that's all they chose. And same with, you know, and we watched a whole documentary about the Abercrombie thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
It's just back in that day, which is like the early 2000s, even now. But now we're starting to see different bodies, different colors, and it just makes sense because that's what you see in real life. And it's cool, you know?
I think one thing that American Meme didn't really touch on much, they kind of did with Paris because she was famous since she was very young, was how social media has not exactly let young people get famous, but that fame comes to these young people whether they expect it or not, because the current, you know, the current mentality is when you take a picture, it's typically not for you to hold on to as a cherished memory, it's so that you can post it.
Yep.
So you'll have young people posting it or taking these pictures and posting them, and fame finds them, like that kid that with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Like, fame found him. He just wanted to take a picture with Justin and post it online and thought it was super cool. And then he's suddenly on Ellen.
Yeah.
And being interviewed by these really big people, and fame found him for good or for bad. And I think that's one of the blessings and curses of social media is anyone can take a picture and become famous.
Yep.
Now, how long that stays is a whole other thing. But
And I also think that when you are young and you're becoming, or you want to be famous, because it's
because everyone does.
Look, it's very true. I mean, look, I in my personal life, I don't think I want to be famous. I think I want to be well known, but more of like the influencer side, not for something that I really did, just like
not a specific thing,
just more like who supportive of something else, if that makes sense. Like you have all these supporting influencers that, you know, work with politics or brands or things like that. Something like that would be nice. But, you know, there's people who can dance, can sing, can act, can do none of it, but still do. And they get a lot of hate for it, and I don't think they're ready. Like, they're not mentally ready, especially at such a young age. I think I can name a few people. Addison Rae would be one. Charlie D'Amelio, her sister. There's quite a few. Any Vine star, really.
Yeah.
Jake Paul, Logan Paul. When they were younger, I really don't think that they were ready for all of the hate. They got a lot of love. They did. Back then, they got a lot of love, and they're still getting some to this day, but they went through a lot to get where they are, and you have to build thick skin at such a young age, and I think that kind of is traumatizing.
It takes away from your childhood, really. You go from being a kid to, I now need to create content, otherwise I'm going to get hate.
And that's anxiety inducing, because imagine waking up and being like, okay, so I posted like 2 things yesterday, so today I have to post like 20 things. You're your own social media manager at that point.
Yeah.
Your life and that's stressful. It can be very stressful and pictures, like when you said pictures, like when you take them and you have to post them, that is so true, because whenever I take a photo, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to keep it just for me. Like, I want to post it. Yep. I want to let people know that I'm having fun, that I'm doing something cool, or that I'm with someone I like, you know? It's not for me. It may be for me later on. Like, it's just something I'm saving. But in the moment, no, I'm taking it because I want to post it. Like, immediately when I got my braces, I took a picture. I posted it. I took videos. I posted those. I took a video in some purple dress and did some video stuff with that, edited a video, and I posted it like the same day. Because I just was like, this cannot just sit in my phone for fun.
No.
What's the use of that?
We used to take pictures with Polaroid cameras, and they would stay in a photo album. And the only people that would see them is the people that you took that photo to.
Yep.
Or had them come over, and you would flip through the photo album.
Yep.
Now you can just send it to the entire wide world in seconds. Yeah. Which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it's definitely changed how
taken the
photos.
Moment out.
Yeah, it's changed how photos and how we capture moments, and changed it in a way that can be detrimental to in a number of ways. Your mental health in a number of ways.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's people who portray their lives to look glamorous. Like, you know, when you're looking at these influencers online, like the documentary was showing, their lives look so fun. You know, they're traveling the world, they're taking all these photos, they're at parties, they're doing so many fun things. They're, you know, they're not at school, they're not at a job. I mean, it counts as a job, and they're getting paid a lot of money.
It is work.
It's work. And I don't think we realize like how hard of work it is. We just kind of see the fun parts of it, the stuff that they post.
Yep. And
we're like, wow, we really want that. And then you, of course, finally get that, and you're like, we don't want that.
Yeah, they're selling a
lifestyle
that this is their life, but in reality, it's not. And they might not want it to be because it's not sustainable.
They're over it.
Yeah, it's not a sustainable lifestyle. So like back to Kirill, and I think DJ Khaled is possibly one of the very few individuals of the people that were on that show that is actually selling his real life.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, when they were talking about how he was the king of Snapchat for a while. I can't imagine he still is.
Yeah, he really was.
And how he was basically just chronicling his life through Snapchat. I mean, it wasn't really an act. It was him doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's turned that into a business in a sort of way. He's trying to keep ahead of the curves, and if it was ever to collapse in on him, I think it would be horrible for him. But I think he's a clever enough guy to to at least have some retirement funds available and stuff like that. He's got his music still.
I think the only thing I don't agree with DJ Khaled for is him exploiting his son. That's the only thing.
I mean, yeah.
Because he does. You know?
I mean, but he, like I said, he's selling his real life. Yeah. People will want to watch DJ Khaled because
it's still dangerous.
Not only is he selling a life, he's selling his life. Mm-hmm. Like this is actually what he will do. But like compared to like Kirill doesn't want to go to a nightclub every single night in different cities. Yeah, but he has to because he's been booked with all of these different places and has fans that are expecting him to go there or do these things.
And there was people
and get drunk.
There was a post that he did, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna be dead soon. And then people just post back, no, you can't die. You can't die yet because I haven't partied with you. And he realized that people don't care about him.
Yeah.
They just want to party with him, get a picture with him, post it, let it go viral, and that's it. You can die after that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because he's selling a lifestyle that is not actually his. He's basically an actor in a way.
He's living a double life, yeah.
So I think about midway through, maybe 3/4 of the way through, they're talking about how, you know, the average person will have a family that they can hang out with and will take pictures with and you know, have that family unit and will fantasize about being famous. And for those that are famous, sometimes it's the complete opposite. They may not have a family that accepts them for who they are or a family that they can go and hang out with, possibly because they're so busy. And that's truly what they want. They fantasize about being a normal person.
It's almost like you have everything, but you want more. I truly feel like we are never satisfied with what we have. And I see myself every single day. You know, things that I accomplish, like getting a new job. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so awesome. And then you get there and you're like, this is my life. This is my new job. Yay. What's next? Yeah. What's next? The question's always, what's next? You're never happy where you are. And it's kind of cool to see, it's unfortunately cool to see these celebrities be like, wow, I wish I just had a normal life. I wish I didn't do something to get me to where I am. Like, I kind of just wish I could go MIA and just kind of
live off the grid, start a family, be a normal person.
And I can't because I just, unless all these people die around me, I can't do that because I'm already so up there that I just can't come back down.
Yeah. And their fans are living vicariously. Again, they have this normal family and a normal job, and they wish they had this life that people like Kirill are selling. That is their life. And they fantasize about having that, and they'll go to the parties with Kirill and get to experience that life for a short time. And that's all they get to, that's all they need, you know, is that one short time. Maybe they'll do it again in another year, but Kirill has to do that every single day. Social media has definitely been a detriment to like letting people be satisfied with where they are.
Yep. And then there's people who are infatuated with the people that they love. So like fans that are in love with Paris Hilton, they'll make accounts about her and, you know, they'll gain some followers and things like that. And they'll kind of become famous in like the Paris Hilton world, which is cool. Yeah. But it becomes a little too much, in my opinion. Like, you can be obsessed with something. You can be obsessed or like something, but it may get a little bit too out of hand where, you know, every single day is, you know, something that isn't very healthy.
Yeah, because they're trying to live the life that Paris Hilton is living,
and she's very kind to them. Like she really, really said that they are more her family than her family even is. Yep. Like she says that she is closer with them than a lot of other people because she just can't trust other people. Because she really believes that her fans are like her, which they are. I mean, I'm sure they are, but she's in this crazy world where she's famous, and that's just the life she lives now. So, and that's whether she likes it or not. It's just how she has to live. So you can't. Once you become famous, you can't leave unless it's like a 15 minutes of fame type thing.
Oh yeah.
Which then you're lucky because you got a taste, right?
Yeah, you got that taste. I think 15 minutes of fame is probably good for you.
Yep, I think that's honestly the best. The best way to go.
Better than becoming famous for a long period of time. That 15 minutes of fame, or maybe you get a good advertisement,
Ramsey.
or you get a good advertisement deal, and get a bunch of money, and then everyone forgets about you. And that sounds horrible, like, oh, everyone forgot about you. But now you can return to that normal life and live the life you want to without the hindrance of being followed around by the paparazzi or having the expectations of posting content every day. You can take that experience that you had and go back and follow your dreams.
Yep. And then we watched a documentary on the Hype House too.
Yep.
And the Hype House, they had to create stuff every single day. And there was one head guy in Hype House that would make sure that happened.
Yep.
And one of their sponsors was Bang Energy.
Oh, yeah, Bang Energy.
And they had to make content with the Bang Energy or else they wouldn't get paid.
Yeah.
And, you know, the bill for the house is expensive and they have, like, 8 people living there? So you have to constantly make content to pay the bills. Because you can't just wake up and be like, I'm sick.
Yeah.
You had to wake up and make stuff. And a lot of them kind of fell under the pressure. Like, there was one who would just start throwing stuff in the house because he was just so mad at everyone because they were making him do things that he probably wanted to do, but wanted to do without being told.
Yeah.
But you can't. I mean, when you're an influencer, you kind of always have to be on the lookout for the next trend or on the lookout for the next post you can do. You always have to be marketing yourself, and that's the scary thing about being an influencer.
Yeah.
You can't just go MIA for a day. You know, we can, but they can't because they're going to be like, where'd you go? You know, were you in like a mental hospital?
Yeah, if they come back, then it's going to be destroyed. Yeah.
You have to have an explanation of why you were gone. Yeah. And that sucks because sometimes you have to take a break. Sometimes you're so busy. Sometimes you just can't handle it. And you have to go to your followers and be like, I literally am dying.
Yeah. And
it's awful.
And I think the Hype House is a great example of them selling a lifestyle that they do not want to live.
No.
They show on TikTok and on, not Vine anymore, but on TikTok, that they're living this fantastic lifestyle with all these awesome, funny people, you know, dance parties every day and, you know, ball pits and stuff. And in reality, they're doing it because they have to.
Yeah.
Because if they stop, then they have nothing.
Once they stop the button on the, once they hit the stop button on the phone, they're all just like not wanting to be there.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're done. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And they go back to whatever.
They're selling a lifestyle that they did not intend to live.
Yeah.
They're selling a lifestyle that makes them money.
Yeah. And they were originally making money on their own, but then they got so big that now they were asked to be part of this Hype House. And of course, you can't really say no to Hype House because it can get you even bigger, which of course, who doesn't want that?
If you're not continuing to excel, then you're going to disappear.
Right, and that's the mentality they all have.
Well, this episode's been kind of a downer, I guess. I mean, talking about the dangers of social media, but
it's been like it has been a downer, but it's also
cautionary tale, if you will.
Sure, it's been positive though to like learn about how people live.
That we got it pretty good compared to the famous people.
Yeah. I'd say
like so take some time to appreciate what you have now. Like,
money, not
be
so
content
much,
with what you have, because there are those that you might look up to, like Paris Hilton, that you think their lives are so fantastic, and in reality they're living a lie, basically. They have to constantly be improving. So it's a very high pace, very high stress.
It's very stressful.
So, you know, take some time to appreciate what you got now, the humble things that you have now. They may not be fantastic, but you're probably doing okay.
You can take a break from social media.
Yeah,
no
you
one
can
will
appreciate the break from social media.
We appreciate you for taking a break.
Yeah.
How about that?
So, it's a cautionary tale. It's all right. If you have the time to watch American Meme, go check it out. But yeah, I think that ends our episode for today.
This episode was really fun, and we really enjoyed the documentary, and I think you guys should go check it out. Just get like a little bit more of a taste of what these influencers go through on a day-to-day basis. I know a few of them have kind of gone off the charts a little bit, but there are some you can even look into now that are still popping.
Yeah.
And just look at their life and be like, you good? You all right? You doing good up in there?
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode, and we will see you next time on
ETC.
ETC.
Bye.
Bye.